Welcome back, Keepers of the Flame. Look at that smoke rolling on in. All right, we're going to do, this feels mysterious. We're going to do Scorpio read today. And I'm just going to have another, on the road again. So, I'm going to squeeze this one in. I haven't even gotten ready yet. I look like you know what. So, we are going to rock this out, Scorpio, with our crazy hair and our careless ways, unconventional ways. Alright, Scorpio, what is going on? Just spent a little time with Sophie cuddling and meditating on Scorpio energy. Yeah, I was gonna say, you had something to spell. Staying quiet isn't gonna help anybody. Okay. Generosity of air, Queen of Swords. Are we going to cut a bitch today? We could cut a bitch today. I'm not. There it is. Portal. Portal. 3 of water. Ooh, celebration with friends. Yay. And the 4 of air. And then rest and relaxation. Okay, okay. 2 of earth reversed. You're not putting anything up on that conveyor belt to the universe. Ta-da. Good call. If I were going through the portal, I would definitely not put anything up on that conveyor belt. 5 of earth. Okay. So, this is interesting. 5 of cups, or 5 of earth, 5 of pentacles. It's not cups, but look at what he's doing. He's fishing for buckets. Do you want to get in the boat, or do you want to stay? Shall we call it a lake? Oddly enough, that looks like a shoreline of Lake Superior. Or is that a roof? I can't even tell. Anyway, that's what I love about these pictures. You really have to look, because it kind of looks like a roof line. But if any of you have been on Lake Superior, which is a gorgeous lake, I highly recommend. It is actually not a lake. It's technically an inland sea. I highly recommend you get there. It has its own tide. It's absolutely beautiful. It's almost like taking a step back, way back in time, way back. If you can get to the North Shore, get to the North Shore. It's just beautiful. You can go canoeing, kayaking, rowboating. You don't have to have a major piece of equipment, even though it is an inland sea. You do need to be careful about that. But sometimes, most mornings, she's like glass, and she's just beautiful. But you're either the guy in the boat here, or wait, which vessel? Vessel. Do you want to come aboard? 3 of earth, but it's in reverse. Okay, so you are dumping 3 here. You don't want to work with anybody. Independent. Okay, okay. Okay, nobody's going to force you to do that. At the bottom, 8 of air. Cancerians got this yesterday, but it was showed up this way. So you are breaking out of something. You're setting yourself free. Ooh, sovereignty of air. There's your counterpart. I love reads like this. I love reads like this. Now, this doesn't mean, it does not mean that, like, you know, your one and only is going to come in. I don't subscribe to that narrative. But you do have a soul connection coming in. As long as you take those trimmers and cut yourself out of this, whatever the heck it is. Woo! Your soul connect has a pair of clippers for you. See that? There's a pair of clippers for you. I love it like this. Okay. All right. Now this, I can't give you a timeline, but here's the 4 of air. So this is rest and relaxation. Look at those clippers. You got two of the clippers that are up here on the swords, 8 of swords, the 8 of air, and in... Now this would be the king of swords and the generosity. The sovereignty is king, generosity is queen. But these, far be it for me to judge, but I do declare that is a woman. And this, not that it totally matters, she's showing up in a very masculine energy, where this one's showing up in a very feminine energy. Okay? But this rest, relaxation, meditation is going to help you get clear about what needs to happen here and who might be holding those clippers. Look at those white roses. Ooh, child, death and rebirth. Excuse me, pardon more. And these are red roses, which is desire, lust. But these are white roses. Now, yes, they are associated with death, but what people fail to understand about that is it's pure. It's pure. Death and rebirth is a pure process. You can't escape it. You can't fix it. You can't change it. It happens, and you are at its mercy. And it is pure. It's the weighing. Think of the scales in the Egyptian where they weigh the heart against a feather. It's pure. Absolutely pure process. So that's how you're going to recognize your counterpart energy. They are going to be like, yep, cut away. I'm right behind you. Death and rebirth. Nice. Okay, so that for this and this are going to feel the same but different. If you feel me. If you get what I'm saying. Your meditation, your peace time is going to feel similar to this energy. Or this energy is going to give off the same vibration as this one. Calm, centered, relaxed, focused. Open heart. Open mind. Okay. Don't forget to connect with others this week. It doesn't have to be a beloved. It does not have to be. You could have a group of girls or a group of guys that gets together or a group of mixed and be like, we're not emotionally, romantically attached in some sort of traditional, conventional way. We just love each other and we're just going to hang and have a good time doing plucking wildflowers. Okay? It doesn't have to be anything. Just make sure that you are getting that emotional connection and feeding it with your own emotions. This is what I'm getting. Look at, they all have their own little watering can. I love that for you. Okay. And I keep doing that. I keep forgetting that you can't see. I'm like, so over here, where you can't see off the camera. Okay. So the 2 of earth by the 5 of earth. Okay. So it feels like, okay, you have it. This is interesting because these are pots, right? They're pots. So they look like buckets when they're in the water here. They look like they're buckets just floating about, and he's in a boat. Then you have the 3 of... This is... Okay, so the 3 of earth is reversed, but so is the 2. So maybe all of your pots or your pentacles or whatever the heck are outside of the boat right now, and you're like, I'm not sure. Something needs to be clipped, cut back, whatever. You know when you're starting seeds and planting things and potting things, and you know, you give it that flush green, or not green, but nice black dirt. And it has that natural fertilizer in it. And then, like, you know, 4 days later you come back and you're like, hey, what happened? Like, you got like 8 inches too big here. What are you doing? Then you got to take the clippers and cut it back. This feels like something you were fertilizing and it got slightly out of control. You're like, crap. Now what do I do? I don't want to collect on those, and I don't want to collect on these. Okay. So you're not putting anything up on the ethos conveyor belt, and you're not wanting to work with other people either. You're just standing there in a boat being like, which one am I going to wrangle? Okay. And that emotional connect could have something to do with you coming to terms and understanding this and knowing that this has to happen. Just imagine yourself being dumped out of that, whatever it is, cage, prison. A weed hacker, Larry, a weed hacker. Okay, so that'll be, if you get yourself out of this, yep. Whew, okay. Anything else? Do we need to clarify? What is this? What is this? Seven of Earth. Oh, okay. So you definitely don't need to worry about these pots over here. You got this going. Okay, okay. That's a Scorpio, though. Dude. We CYA like nobody's business. Like, and we won't tell anybody, you know. You ain't got nothing. Nothing. Alright. That's freaking cool. Look at those two little kids, childlike. So maybe this has something to do with like something you're already naturally good at. A love that you've already grown. You just need to take harvest. That's so great. Oh, go Scorpio. Okay, let's get a closer look at this devil portal here. What does Scorpio need to look at closely in order to get through this portal? Bypass. Ready, set, grow. So, there's no reversals in this one. The Elementalist. I'm going to have to look it up, but that's cool energy. Working with all the elements. I am not sure which one that is. It's not a hierarchy or a major. It could be a hierarchy, though. I don't know if that's the page or the knight. But if it's all the elements. Okay. And there's your Seven of Lotuses again. Oh, no. This is Seven of Earth. Now you've got choices over here in the emotional realm. Indeed, an elementalist. Spirit plan. Okay. So whatever this is has this to do with it. You are being led down a path into this. Well, duh. Hi. Thanks for coming to the channel. Usually, for newbies that don't understand what kind of like tarot read this channel is, it's usually for people that are very spiritual. Not religious, extremely spiritual without the religion attached to it. So whatever this is for you, probably going to be doing this. It could be like where you're doing work, business, something that you're growing to feed the spiritual realm healer. Because this is you've got your divine connection counterpart. You've gone through that portal. You've gotten out of that false light paradigm. That's what the devil card is it's just a torch saying, hey, did you want to stay in this fear modality that has a particular narrative attached to it? Whether it be eternal damnation or what's another scare? You're gonna die by this, blah 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 blah, because a person with a white coat said so. That false fear mentality that you don't have any control over your life. Okay, this is why I love this deck. Sovereignty is air is here. Sovereignty of mental capacity. You can see clearly that you are indeed in charge and that you do have control over your own life and that now you have to take that control over your own life. You're just not sure in which modality, but it's somewhere back in childhood. Okay. So there's your spiritual plane message. Anything else on the devil? 3 of birds in reverse. Healed. Okay. So oftentimes when we're unbinding, you should say, because religion is a binding spell, all of them are. They have a trauma bond reaction in your body that provokes adrenaline and cortisol when they instill fear in you. And then when you don't actually die, the serotonin, oxytocin, endorphins, and dopamine are mixed in with the adrenaline and cortisol, creating a very, very addictive chemical reaction naturally in your body. Okay, that's called a trauma bond. So when you're breaking free of that, a lot of healing is going to happen. A lot. You are going to also come across the fact that there are wounds there that you didn't realize. There are cuts, scrapes, scratches, stab wounds where you didn't even notice. There's going to be pains where you had no concept of having pain in the first place. Okay, that's also going to come up. Okay, and you're healing that and understanding as above, so below. So if you believe it to be true, it will be for you, but only for you. That's why a collective people sharing the same narrative is really dangerous, because if that narrative has a terrible outcome to it, it'll start manifesting itself on the planet. Okay, so you're starting to kind of understand that, yep, it's not just you singly as a person. It's not just you that's going through this. It's a whole collective. It's the entire cosmos witnessing itself on an earthly plane, and you are on this giant web of people that now you have to witness go through this. Okay. And there's a little spirit guide for you. So pay attention to little lights flickering, flashing, changing. Even if it's like a wub, 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 wub. Kind of like, well, not necessarily as drastic as this, but like it's just a like little, you can sense there's a wave going through the light, if you will. It's hard to describe. Just pay attention to that. Just start paying attention to those little lights and flickers and whatnot. And some of them come up in different color. All different colors you can see orbs in. Some of them are rainbow even. Okay? So start realizing that you're not alone in this, because this portal thing can feel pretty isolating. Because even though you've got your 3 of Cups here filling up, I see you, Scorpio. You don't like to talk about this stuff because the people you keep in company with don't want to listen to it. Maybe suggest it anyway. You might be surprised. If you just cast a little line out there, you might be surprised. But until then, you are supported, loved, cared for, protected, nurtured. Follow the authentic light. Follow the true light that bursts out of you, out of your darkness. What does that look like? A phoenix rising. Go, Scorpio, go. Okay. Shall we get a queen mob? When I first got into crystals, people would tell me that your crystal will get clearer with your energy the more you give to it. And I don't have one. I think it's by my bedstand. That's almost, you can see through it. You can totally, you can see just a few little cracks in it, and you can see completely through it. It's really cool. But I've had it for over a decade now. Alright. Might have time for 2. Ugh. The Forgeries of Jealousy. Okay. And then a Queen in Bondage. Okay. Something rich and strange. If I have time, I'll get to this one. That's at the bottom of the deck. Okay. So, I'm not paying attention to these cards or these cards. Yeah, because they're in reverse. Okay. Alright. Let's see what we got. Alright. 41 and 29. And okay. 33 for the one at the bottom. Alright. Oh, that's 43. Oh. This one works. The Forgeries of Jealousy. Step out of the illusion. Jealousy, envy, or comparison is currently coloring your perspective and showing you an unreal version of the world and your place in it. As a social creature, it is natural to compare yourself to others, but sometimes you become blinded by the false narratives that arise in response to these comparisons. This is what is happening now. Extricating yourself from this mental trap is actually quite simple. It can even be instantaneous. Here's how. Question the story you are telling and tell yourself a new one. For example, you may believe that when someone is thriving according to external and measurable factors, they are thriving exactly as much as they appear to be. They have no problems and everything is permanently great for them. Believing this story sets you up to feel that you can never measure up. In fact, this is never true. Everyone suffers and everyone has challenges you cannot see. Or you may believe that someone else has something you want. It makes it less likely that you can also have what you want. But someone else having something you want is actually proof that you can have what you want. Change the story and your experience will change. Smile and say to yourself, what the goddess has provided for. Blank. She now provides for me and more. Sometimes your jealousy may fabricate a story that a friend or significant other is being deceitful or loves someone else more than they love you. That's why, before you react, it's important to take time to discover what is actually true rather than what your jealousy attempts to convince you is true. Regardless of the form a forgery may take, the reality is that you have plenty and the world is beautiful and there is much to be grateful for. The more you believe this, the truer it gets. So you need not be miserly about love, abundance, belongings, or anything else. For as one wind of fortune recedes, another is already on its way. Worry not and fret no longer about what others are experiencing. Look instead to the endless breezes of blessings continuously blowing your way. Do not wait. At this very moment, remove your focus from the illusion of lack and open your eyes to the reality of your luck. What will you choose to see? What you will choose to see, you will see multiply. Okay. 29. A Queen in Bondage. Liberate yourself from codependency or narcissistic control. What do we say about narratives? A person, group, or situation may be siphoning off your power. At first, this may have seemed like a desirable arrangement for you. Perhaps you were flattered by the attention, enraptured by the possibilities, or otherwise believed the relationship, collaboration, or agreement to be respectful, productive, or mutually beneficial. Alas, things were not as they seemed. Looking back, perhaps you can see that there were warning signs. Whether you can or cannot, you must forgive yourself. No one escapes this life without one time or another being disappointed or disillusioned. Berating yourself won't help. Neither will punishing yourself by remaining in change indefinitely. Your best course of action involves 2 steps. First, admit you are in a bind, and then consider your friends, family members, and allies. Also consider others who might be able to assist you in getting out of this situation, physically, mentally, or emotionally. Again, this all ties back to this emotional connection you have here. So don't let them set your bar, and they might be able to help if you just get past whatever you have going on this way. Do not omit the asking. No queen has ever defended her crown without the help of counselors, protectors, healers, and champions. And even when queens make missteps or make choices they later regret, we all must be able to reveal our vulnerabilities to at least a trusted few so we can receive the support and guidance we need. Someone may try to convince you that you have an obligation to stay in this situation one more day or until some future event occurs or old debt is repaid. Do not believe this. You are a winged being by right, light, bright, joyful, and free. Like a seagull in the sunlight, designed to soar above the sparkling waves. Call your true nature back to you now. Invoke the support you need so you can step out of your bondage and fly. Take a drink. Cheers, on. I'm drinking to the stars today. 33. Yay, we have time. Yeah. All right, darling. I have a thing for the dark. Something rich and strange. Access the infinite, dissolve into oneness. Oh, blessed be. Even when your present human body perishes and dissolves into dust, your eternal soul will survive. The radiant light that carries you through dimensions and lifetimes is indestructible. It is beyond the very fabric of time and space. It was never born, and it will never die. The same is true for all sentient beings. All are one and one with all. Identify now with your true eternal self rather than your illusionary, transient, temporary self. Draw upon the power of your soul's infinite life. Transcend limitation. Find peace by remembering who you really are. If a loved one is no longer in the physical form for you when you knew them, or if a loved one is about to transition out of this realm and into the next, connect with your loved one's eternal self. Know that in your heart, you will not be separated because you never were and never could be. You are inextricably connected as rays of sunlight or waves on the sea. Connecting appearance of your mortality means that you are destined to suffer and grieve. This is what it means to be incarnated into this form. No matter how hard you try, you will feel the pain of your seeming separation. But the more you identify with your infinite nature, your soul's pure light, the one that with divine light, the more freedom, wisdom, comfort, and power you will find. Learn to live on both levels, the finite and the eternal. It is like watching a play. The world of play has its own relative reality, its plot, its setting, and its characters, in which you choose to invest for your own temporary enjoyment. But simultaneously, your reality is larger, more real, more inclusive than the play. You care about what happens in the drama, but you know it is only for a limited number of acts. And once these acts are complete, the lights will come up and the world of play will fade. Employ the same dynamic in your fleeting mortal life. Be invested in the character you are playing and the friends, lovers, and foes that surround you on your earthly revels. But don't be invested that you don't know all the while that these revels most certainly will end. The thin air, the pure light, the infinite being into which the actors melt is the divine mind, which you and I and everyone and everything are one. There will come a day in the infinite realm when we will leave not a rack behind, but we will not truly be gone. We will be what we always were. Infinite. That was really intense, Scorpio. I'm glad I'm only doing one read today. That's really intense energy. And I'm a Scorpio. Okay, I feel like that's it. Just remember to, like, if they support you, if they love you no matter what, they're your tribe and they're not going to hurt you intentionally. Okay? That's the one thing I'm getting is, like, remember that, like, as Scorpios, for whatever reason, we tend to be targeted from a very early age for whatever reason. It might be a soul contract thing. I'm not sure. I haven't pinpointed that myself yet. But from a very young age, we can walk into a room and be despised for no reason. We haven't said a word. We haven't even acted. We just walked into the room. Okay? Excuse me. Don't let that part of life intrude on every other aspect of it. Because it can, and sometimes it will. So draw it back. Understand that even though your haters will, and you're blind to majority of them most times because you don't even know these people, right? But sometimes they have shown up in your friend groups, right? And you're like, what the hell? Okay. Some people have a really difficult time dealing with the dark undercurrent in which we wade around in. So when we point out things that just we can see and that are truth to us, and they just roll right off our tongues as if they were just right there at the surface level, that's going to irritate some people's souls.